Blessings, kings and queens. It's your homie, Finesse, also known as Michael JamieLee Spearman. I am the CEO of a company called Positive Vibes Only. I'm a rapper, I'm a singer, I'm an event host as well, public speaker. I try to do what I was put on this earth to do, baby, and that was to serve the people. I know a lot of us are going through a lot, definitely with this pandemic that's going on with the coronavirus. I hope everyone is staying healthy and just keeping their minds and their spirit in a positive state. So the purpose of this particular video, let's get right down to business. All right, so I have a video for you guys. I put together a presentation about the brain and negative thinking, words, and its effects. So this will be really part one of a series, because I also want to talk about the effects of negative thinking, amongst other things, other important things. All right, so with this particular video, I am going to teach the basic functions of the brain, of the mind. I'm also going to raise awareness about thinking and the effects of negative thinking and words. This presentation will take about 20 minutes, hopefully, give or take. Now, who will benefit from this video? Anyone who wants to better themselves or needs or wants guidance in the process of bettering themselves. Anyone who has or is in a negative emotional state. Anyone who's 10 years of age or older. And anyone who wants to be successful. And don't we all want to be successful? So, Finesse, I'm going to tell you just a little bit about my journey in terms of, where I was in terms of mentally. All right, so for about 10 years, really more than that now, I've studied psychology, universal law, American history, mindfulness, Buddhism, cognitive behavior, religion, and really countless theories and philosophies. As a result of studying these things, it brought me to the conclusion that life is a choice. It's a choice between positive and negative. Now, this is the real life matrix, the choice between the red or the blue pill. For me, as I grew awareness of self through self-education and learning from mentors and teachers, it brought me closer to self. Closer to reality, closer to being balanced. It brought me closer to happiness, closer to becoming the best version of myself. So without further ado, let's get right into it. The Power of Thinking by Michael JamieLee Spearman, also known as Finesse. Let's get it. As I stated, we're going to be talking about the brain first, and that's really where I started in my journey in becoming aware of who I am and, having that ability to make better choices and decisions. So the human brain is the central organ of the human nervous system, in which the spinal cord makes up the central nervous system. The brain consists of the cerebrum, the brainstem, and the cerebellum. It is divided in two cerebral hemispheres. Now, the cerebrum is the largest part of the brain and is composed of right and left hemispheres. It performs higher functions like interpreting, touch, vision, and hearing, as well as speech, reasoning, emotions, learning, and fine control of movement. The cerebellum is located under the cerebrum. The function is to coordinate muscle movements, maintain posture, and balance. Then we look at the brainstem. The brainstem acts as a relay sensor connecting the cerebrum and cerebellum to the spinal cord. It performs many automatic functions such as breathing, heart rate, body temperature, wake and sleep cycles, digestion, sneezing, coughing, vomiting, and swallowing. Now, the brain is very complex, and I really truly encourage anyone who seeks more information about the brain to, really take it upon yourself to self-educate yourself on the topic of the brain. And that was big, that was huge for me, coming from such a negative place mentally, really being depressed. And this is why I started, man, learning about the brain. That was the first thing that I did. All right, so we're gonna go to the next slide. And like I said, we're going to be talking about negative thinking, negative words, because I feel it's important for us to understand each of these things. So much information. So I'm really want to just focus in and break it down over a series versus trying to break it all down in this one video. So we're just really going to be talking about thinking and negative thinking. All right, negative words. Okay, now the power of thinking. Now, thinking is usually a mixture of words, sentences, mental images, and sensations. Now, thoughts come, stay a while, and then disappear, making space for other thoughts. Some of these thoughts stay longer, gain power, and affect the life of the person thinking of them. So that's us. The thoughts that you express through your words shape your life. This is often done unknowingly, as few of us really pay attention to our thoughts and the words that we use. A lot of us just aren't aware. What is awareness? The quality or state of being aware, knowledge and understanding that something is happening or exists. So it's so important for us to be aware of what's going on inside of us so that we can be more in control. That's really what it's all about, being more in control. So negative thinking, it is a major aspect in each of our lives because of the negativity that is thrown out there. The world, I feel, is kind of ran off of negativity. When you look at music, you look at the media, you look at your favorite shows and programs, and you look at the news, we thrive off of negativity. And it's just important to understand the effects of it so that you can be better prepared, baby, to become through it all the best version of yourself. Now, it is very important to be aware of negative thoughts, because negative thoughts can harm you or someone else. Negative thoughts can cause us to lose our self-confidence. Negative thoughts can persuade negative actions that lead to negative consequences. Negative thoughts can lead us to be in a sad or angry mood. Negative thoughts can cause us to dislike or hate ourselves. Negative thoughts can cause you to doubt. Negative thoughts can, really eliminate us from becoming successful. And that's real talk. You listen to any successful person, they will talk about the importance of, being in a positive state of mind, surrounding yourself with positive people, and being optimistic about your future and your present. Negative thoughts can cause fear and anxiety. And that's a lot of what I felt, being in depression. Negative thoughts can encourage you to be jealous, envious, and revengeful. Negative thoughts can make us feel inferior. Negative thoughts can destroy our faculty of imagination. We have to be imaginative. We are imaginative beings, so it's so important to not allow negative thoughts to steal your imagination. Negative thoughts can really kill our self-reliance. Negative thoughts can undermine our enthusiasm and discourage initiative. Negative thoughts can dismantle our ambitions. Negative thoughts can lead us to uncertainty of purpose. It can block us from seeing things or doing things that don't fit. We continue to hold on to the same old thoughts and fail to learn anything new when we consistently are in that negative mind state. Negative thoughts can divert our concentration. Negative thoughts invite failure and disaster into our lives, man. And how many of us are really doing that, by not being aware of the effects of negative thoughts and just letting ourselves remain in that negative state for so long. And depression, when I learned what that really is, depression is just negative thinking over a extended period of time, and then you finally hit that depression threshold. Okay, now, according to studies, when we allow negative words and concepts into our thoughts, we are increasing the activity in our brain's fear center. This causes stress-producing hormones in our bodies. Negative things can and will happen, but when we are in a disturbed state of mind, we may be basing our predictions and interpretations on biased views of the situation, making it really difficult to face what seems much worse. And the reality of it is negative thinking, negative words is normal, and we just have to be aware of its effects so we don't allow it to manifest itself in us in extended periods of time. All right, now we're going to move now into words. And as you can see, I have a quote here. Now, sticks and stones may break your bones, but words leave psychological wounds that will never heal. Man, that's deep right there. Sticks and stones may break your bones, but words leave psychological wounds that will never heal. And how many of us are going through things, and not just now, but have been through things growing up, hearing so many negative things and being in so many negative situations, surrounded by so many negative people that are just giving you negative energy, just negative thoughts, and just saying negative things about you, negative statements. That all affects you. It all sticks with you. So it's important to understand that. That's the first thing, is to understand its power and combat it. And you can combat that with positivity, baby. And like I said, that's going to be in the next video. So if you like this video, you and think it's helpful, definitely let me know. Leave a comment, and like, share. We all need to understand this information. All right, so negative words. I just want to ask something. How many times a day do we throw away our words? We say things like, I hate my hair, I'm so stupid, I can't do it. Now, this is either saying it internally or saying it out loud. We never think that these words bring negative energy into our minds and affect us on a physical level, but they really do. Some of us are in a habit of using the same negative words over and over again, and create a habit of doing that. The problem is that the more we hear, read, or speak a word or phrase, the more power it has over us. This is because the brain uses repetition to learn, and we're going to talk about repetition in just a moment. When negative actions are advertised and condoned by role models such as rappers or singers, the actions seem acceptable, especially to the younger audience. And that's just real talk. Most of our idols, most of the people that we look up to are famous people. They're singers, they're, actors, rappers, and their actions, their way of life, their mindset, the way they carry themselves has so much of a influence on our minds and who we are. And it really affects the youth strongly, especially where I come from, because most of our role models, people that we look up to, are rappers. And unfortunately, a lot of things that are put into the mainstream have negative connotations. So it's such an importance for young people to really understand this information. It's okay to sing a song and, like someone, but don't allow it to affect who you become. Don't allow it to make you be negative and, mess up your life, throw away your life because you're trying to imitate someone who is, not even being themselves. They're selling negativity, which again really runs our world. Like I said, we're going to talk about repetition. So repetition is the act of repeating or doing, saying, or writing something again. It's repeated action, performance, production, or presentation. When we look at repetition, it is very important to be mindful and aware of the thoughts that go into our minds, because again, repetition is such an important thing, because the more we hear the same words, the more we think the same things, the more that is going to affect your energy and affect your decisions and affect your choices that you make. Just another thing about repetition, like I stated, words and thoughts that are repeated often get stronger by repetitions, sink into the subconscious mind, and affect the behavior, actions, and reactions of the person involved. Ask the question, how many of you have ever heard of something called the illusion of truth effect? The illusion of truth effect. If you never heard of it, go ahead and look it up. But I'm going to tell you what it is because I already looked it up. The illusion of truth effect is the tendency to believe information to be correct after repeated exposure. Psychological research finds that repetition is one of the easiest and most widespread methods of persuasion. Now, that's because repetition is the most powerful tool to imprint something into our minds and keep it there. I'm going to repeat that. I said that repetition is the most powerful tool to imprint something into our minds and keep it there. All right. Recent research has shown we can effectively persuade ourselves through repetition. So we can not only persuade ourselves through the words and thoughts that we're saying to ourselves, we can also be persuaded by others, by their words that they're saying. And definitely, again, when you're looking at music, what kind of music are you listening to? What words are they saying in the music you're listening to? What message is the, what messages are they trying to get across in the music that you listen to? All right. Now, we must understand that music is powerful, man. Music affects the brain and mood by engaging emotion, memory, learning, and attention. Research indicates that music stimulates emotions through specific brain circuits. I know for me, when I'm in a certain mood, either good or bad, music persuades my mood in a good way or a bad way. Makes me feel better or worse. Maybe you just went through a breakup and you're listening to emotional songs, breakup songs, and it's just, getting you deeper and deeper into that negative emotion. Or you do the opposite and you listen to a more happy song, like Forget 'Em, something that's helping you overcome that tragedy, or what happened to negatively affect you. Now, listening to music can create peak emotions and helps the part of the brain that controls the reward and pleasure centers. Music is able to bridge the brain and heart. Music evokes and engages our emotions in many stages of our lives, both individually and in groups. Music can evoke the deepest negative emotions in people and cause the brain to process fear, grief, sadness, and resentment. I'll do another video, separate video on fear itself, because it's so important, and a lot of us are really being affected because we don't understand. So I'm gonna wrap up this video. Like I said, I didn't want to make it too long, but believe me, it's beneficial for you. This is my very first video doing this, but like I said, if you like it, if it's helpful for you, definitely like it, comment, let me know that I am doing something that can really help, at least plant seeds and guide you in the right direction. That's what I feel my purpose is. Okay, so in conclusion, I'm going to quote a Chinese proverb. Be careful of your thoughts, for your thoughts become your words. Be careful of your words, for your words become your actions. Be careful of your actions, for your actions become your habits. Be careful of your habits, for your habits become your character. Be careful of your character, for your character becomes your destiny. And that's just real talk, man. Your brain, your mind is the most powerful. I said your brain, your mind is the most powerful tool that you have. So it's important to understand how it works so that we can better understand ourselves and understand other people. I believe we are all meant to become the best versions of ourselves, and we can achieve this through positivity, positive vibes. That's all we want, baby. And I really want you guys to follow my company, Positive Vibes Only. You see it right there. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook at PVOnly100. And you can follow the homie Finesse on Instagram at Top Flight Finesse. You can follow me on Facebook, Michael Finesse Spearman. You can definitely subscribe to the YouTube at Top Flight Finesse. So make sure you do that. Hit the like button, subscribe, and like I say, positivity is the key. Say it with me. Positive vibes, that's all we want. Positive vibe, that's all we want. Positive vibe, that's all we want.